Got something on my mind today. So they're doing the George H.W. Bush funeral, and most of the federal government offices are closed today in mourning of former President H.W. Bush, who, of course, was Ronald Reagan's vice president, former head of the CIA, and he served in World War II as a fighter pilot. But one thing I noticed is we actually had a snow day today, so I was supposed to teach, supposed to work, and I ended up being off because of that. Not sure why they called for a snow day, because the roads aren't really all that bad today, not in my opinion. Anyway, so I don't know if they just wanted to join the gang with all the government offices that are closed today. Post offices aren't even open, which is really kind of wacky because it's the president's funeral in D.C. and I live in northern Indiana, so I don't think anyone's going to be attending the funeral. But so, I noticed all the cable networks are really glorifying H.W. Bush today. And, of course, they always do this. They did it when John McCain passed away, and they did it when Reagan died. And whenever a big dignitary like this passes away, they go out of their way to glorify them. And there's never much critical thinking, just glorifying, and that's fine. I guess we're supposed to honor folks when they pass. But one thing I've noticed that in this country, it's like, you make it so difficult for working class people and poor people to get health care in some circumstances. There's all this documentation, paperwork you got to fill in, and all this bureaucracy you have to deal with. It's not simple, like in many countries all around the world, whether you're talking Europe, Korea, where I taught English, or Canada, or wherever. But most countries, you just pay your tax, and they have some form of single payer or maybe a public option for people who don't get health care through their job. In America, it's a lot more complex, a lot more difficult than that. And then also, at least where I live in Indiana, it's hard to find a job with the living wage. Some people think it's getting better here. And I don't know. Unemployment is down a little bit, but that doesn't mean the jobs are good. I still think it's not the best economy, although things do seem to have improved a bit here. Enjoy it while it lasts, because I think that we're in a bit of a bubble right now. But that's just something I wanted to sound off on. Is this country always glorifying our presidents, and people like Senator McCain, who never really saw a war he didn't support. You don't have to admire his service, and for that matter, H.W. Bush's service to the country, even though I didn't really agree with a lot of their politics. But I just don't get why. I just read yesterday that the Pentagon failed an audit. They're spending so much damn money, they don't know where it's going, and they can't pass. The first time Pentagon has ever audited, they failed it. And they had to end the audit because they don't know where all the damn money is going. And now a lot of that is our taxpayer dollars, by the way, going to prop up the defense industry and the military-industrial complex. But yet, anytime somebody like Ocasio-Cortez or Bernie Sanders or whoever pushes for Medicare for all, and they're interviewed on CNN by folks like Jake Tapper, or Chris Cuomo interviewed Cortez, and his question was, how are we going to pay for it? And it's like, well, I don't know. We seem to spend half our budget or whatever on defense and on weapons of war, and we sell weapons to these despots all over the world, but yet somehow we can't seem to come up with the money for health care. It's obvious that that's by design. That's something the oligarchs like, and eventually I kind of think that system is going to end and collapse, and the sooner the better, because it's just a big racket. Healthcare in this country, it's all about money, and of course, if we had a single payer system, it would be cheaper and it would be better, not only for individuals and working people and families, but also for businesses, and ultimately it would probably be good for government too, because we cut out a lot of the waste and a lot of the unnecessary costs and all the administrative costs, all the insurance markups, and all the testing that doctors, hospitals, and whatnot order. A lot of times, all that necessarily not going to be necessary if you cut out a lot of the insurance and the big pharma racket, because these people are profiting off of, when doctors, you got elderly people and the doctors order 5 or 6 tests done to see what's wrong with them. A lot of that is, I think, a money chase by the doctors. But anyway, it just kind of aggravates me. I'm not saying we shouldn't honor our presidents. I know that we should, but I don't understand why all the networks and everybody, even they shut down government offices to glorify our presidents, but yet we can't give working people health care. It doesn't make much sense, and I gotta say, it kind of leaves me scratching my head at times. Just thinking that it's a strange country that I live in. So there you go. Just wanted to sound off on that today. All right. Hope you're having a good one. Later.